Please leave a like and comment what you like about the story before the story continues. So, I was getting geared up to head home after securing my new position and getting the okay to take care of my drama at home. I realized I still haven't called my daughter back, so I call. It rings 3 times and she yells at me.
Daddy, when are you coming home? Mum is cheating on you with a guy from work. She took off after I slapped her and her boy toy in the face. She jumped into his Lamborghini and they sped down the street. I'm here at home all alone, and there are 3 bottles of wine in the sink along with lasagna from Luigi's. And...
I cut her off to tell her that it's okay. I'm on the way home. Close the door and lock it all the way up. When I get there we will talk. During my trip to the airport, I get more calls from my soon-to-be ex-wife. Lucky for me, we never merged finances and I own the house, so it's not community property. But just to be safe, I called my attorney who manages property for me to do Plan B, which is to put all things in my daughter's name because I was planning on buying another house for my wife and me. Just then, I get the reminder to shut our phones and tablets off, so I powered down my phone and tried to zone out for the 4-hour airplane ride, but instead, I found myself watching this little kid across the aisle snuggling a stuffy named Kitty, but it's a turtle. I'm not one to judge. My daughter has a stuffy named Juju that's a huge bee I got for her when she was born. No one knows that she still sleeps with it when she goes to places. All this spills out of my mouth as I'm passing Kitty the turtle back to the little girl. Wondering why I'm even spilling all this information out of my mouth, she clearly doesn't care. Neither does her mom. I feel this rigid stiffness fill my body and I face forward as we take off. I finally am able to relax enough to drift off to sleep and I resume reminiscing on the past discussions with my soon-to-be ex-father-in-law Harold, and how he used to berate me because I didn't dream big enough for his daughter. As I signed the prenuptial agreement, I look back over it and realize there's an infidelity clause. If either one of us is to cheat on each other within the 20-year marker, then the hurt party would receive 95% of the assets, while the other gets the lesser amount. During these dreams turned into nightmares, I visualize my daughter running after my wife and her boy toy on the front lawn, imagining what could have happened to my 17-year-old baby. Just as I am about to jump into the dream and run after the guy myself, I'm shaken awake by the stewardess letting me know that we've landed and it's okay for us to depart. So I get my bag and I head down to pick up my one luggage and I stumble upon the little girl and her mom. I see the turtle named Kitty on the floor. As I'm walking up, I pick it up and I hand it to her and I tell her she should really put her kitty on a leash. She giggles and that's when her mom says,
"Come on, Alice, we gotta get going. Your grandparents are waiting for us."
Alice turns, gives me a hug and says,
Thank you, mister, I hope you have a nice day.
Alice couldn't have been more than maybe 5 years of age, but she can articulate herself very well and I commend her mom for that. Her mom says thank you, and as I'm about to strike up a conversation, I see them scurry on down the way. I grab my luggage and head to the storage where my car is waiting for me, pay my fees and take off for home. Heading down our street, I stop at the local gas station and grab my daughter's favorite chips and her favorite drink, prolonging the duration that it's going to take for me to get home because I'm not ready to face what's beyond that door. I pull up in the driveway and see that there are oil stains. I guess that Lamborghini isn't doing so well if it's leaving oil stains wherever it's parked. Open up the garage and I pull my car in and my daughter is standing in the doorway to the kitchen with her arms crossed and she's staring at me angrily. I just realized I never turned my phone back on to let her know that I touched down, but I have the drink and chips in my hand when I get out. I leave my luggage behind because I don't know if I'm going to stay in the house for the night, and I'd like to be able to take off as quick as possible if needed. So I stumble into the kitchen, and there it is, the evidence that my daughter was telling me about. I didn't know that she sent me pictures of it also, but she tells me,
Daddy, your bedroom is a mess. I didn't touch anything, but I did send you photos of it. I really hope that you decide to leave this cheating woman. You don't deserve to be treated like that.
I cut her off mid-sentence. You show your mother respect. I know she cheated on me, but that doesn't mean that you get to treat her less than. I also want you to know that if anything was to happen to me, you're very well taken care of. Why don't we head out for dinner?
Anywhere but Luigi's.
I think to myself that's a great idea, anywhere but Luigi's. As I'm standing there looking around, I realize that the house really is in shambles. I guess she didn't expect for her daughter to come back as early as she did from that tournament. Speaking of the tournament, how did you place, baby?
We came in second. That dang Catholic school beat us 39-29.
That's still not bad for a loss, just gotta keep trying and practicing. When we head out for dinner I tell my daughter that I don't think that man and your mom are going to be together for much longer.
She tells me that she would rather live with me than her mom. Right when we pulled into our favorite place, IHOP, I get a call from her mom, and we both stare at the screen as it rings until it heads to voicemail. And instead of what I've been doing all day, I actually listen to the voicemail, and she's in hysterics, claiming that our daughter is a liar and don't believe her. That she was just talking to a friend from work about a project that they had been placed on, and our daughter caught her and him as they were about to head to the office for some overtime. And it's at this point I realize that she's just pouring on as many lies as she can and trying to discredit our daughter, even though our daughter provided me with proof, actual evidence, and I haven't checked out the bedroom yet. So I can only imagine how bad it really is in comparison to what my daughter has told me. We sit down and enjoy dinner with little conversation and little appetite. But we realize once we get back home, there's a possibility that my soon-to-be ex-wife will be sitting there waiting for us. And as we pull up to our house, lo and behold, there's a Lamborghini in my parking spot. Before we head in, I told my daughter to put her phone on record in her pocket, and no matter what, don't stop recording. When I get out the car, I'm greeted at the door with my wife standing there in a robe, messy hair, no makeup. My daughter right behind me. We step in and my wife slams the door.
And if you want to know what happens in this crazy conclusion of Daniel's despair, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Shark Daddy Mako today.